So the feds target a black man on his porch having a cigarette um, during Trump's D.C. federal government takeover crackdown. Put it up full mass. All right. So this is an interesting dynamic, really within the first hours of Trump taking over Washington, D.C. through this power grab and this very unknown and rarely used law. A man was smoking a cigarette, and this happened.
You got your ID on you, Chip?
No, I live right here.
Okay, cool.
It's a cigarette.
All right.
How's it, man? Did y'all get a call or something about right here?
No, so we're doing checks, keeping everybody safe down here, right? Have you heard of the federal search that Donald Trump's putting out?
No.
Right. You don't follow like
No.
Code 3, anything like that people are putting up? What's up? All right, so yeah, Trump's got all federal agencies kind of coming together for 7 days and going out, trying to stop the violent crime, all kind of stuff. So we're out here contacting people, talking to them, right? Quality of life offenses, smoking, drinking in public, right? Can't happen outside. So we're just out here trying to inform people and educate people. It's not like we're trying to just go grab people and ruin someone's life over a joint or something like that, all right?
I only asked because when you walked up, at the moment you walked up, you only had eggs.
Yeah, well, it smelled like the odor of marijuana, burnt marijuana in the air, right? And you're the only guy that had something lit in your hand, and I didn't flashlight you, so I didn't realize it was just a cigarette. So that's on me. I appreciate you understanding.
They're cracking down on crime by walking up to your property, your porch, which is still your protected property, and demanding your ID because somehow you're breaking the law and that's what they are out to enforce. It's insanity. It's a police state. And this happened within the first few hours of the technical federal takeover. Put it up full mass. Here we go. First hours of Trump and his administration's Washington, D.C. takeover. A man was targeted on his own porch for smoking a cigarette. It appears the officer was trying to determine whether the man was smoking a cigarette or marijuana. In the days since the takeover began, hundreds of federal agents and National Guard troops have been patrolling the Capitol. Quote, "Tell your boys everybody's out from the FBI to the police," the agent says. Quote, "So do your thing. Let them know. Don't be smoking outside. Don't be drinking outside." End quote. Wait. So if you have a beer and you want to sit on your porch and drink your beer, the court has determined that that is still your home property, that you are able to sit on your porch and have a drink. Even if your city has a law against public intoxication. If you are in your home or immediately outside of your home, on let's say your porch, you are still protected. It's still your home. Now they're saying, well, under this rule, whatever rule they're making up, you no longer have that, right? You see, it seems small, but it's actually huge. This is a mountain, not a molehill. This mountain is saying, we're going to make up the rules as we go. We're not going to concern ourselves with statute. We're not concerning ourselves with the precedent of the court. We are going to concern ourselves with what Trump told us to do. And it always starts in small ways, and then it increases over time. There's more. White House press secretary, a child named Levitt, confirmed that roughly 850 officers and agents were dispatched across the city on August 11th and made 23 arrests for a range of crimes, including homicide, firearm offenses, stalking, DUI, and fare evasion. Those are people that don't have money to get on the bus or train, okay? Department of Defense. The official told NBC News that the National Guard is charged with security, crowd management, perimeter control, and communication support for the city's law enforcement. Guard members will not be arresting, searching, or performing, quote, direct law enforcement, and in most cases won't be carrying firearms, according to the official. How is it that they are charged with security but not in charge of security? They're charged with security, but they can't make arrests. They won't be engaged in real police work, but they're in charge of security. The fact they have to measure their words in such a way should raise a red flag immediately. They have to measure their words because we have statutory law and we have Supreme Court precedent that would bar the National Guard from engaging in such action. So what they're doing is telling you the narrative that fits the paradigm of law and court ruling, but the actual activity of the National Guard is in fact in violation of the essence of those rules. And they know this. There's more. Federal and state data reveal that violent offenses in the city have seen double-digit decreases. Metropolitan Police Department statistics show 26% drop in violent crimes this year so far compared to the same period last year. The reason I bring that to your attention is because Donald Trump attempted to make the argument that, oh, we're doing this because it's just so violent. Well, the truth is you have double-digit drops in crimes across the spectrum. So he can no longer make that argument successfully. He simply wanted a takeover. A recent Department of Justice report shows that violent crime was actually down 35% since 2023, returning to the previous trend of decreasing crime that puts the district's violent crime at a rate lowest in 30 years. Black people on social media have been speaking out online regarding the takeover. William Goldsboro said, remember when us black folks were saying MAGA was going to get to us via the 14th Amendment and use immigrants to do it. But y'all said we were fear-mongering. Trump is taking over a black city with plans to come up the road to Baltimore. You were stupid on November 5th. Another user writes, has anyone noticed that Trump thinks that only cities with black female mayors need to be taken over by the federal government? The cities that he has taken over have lower crime rates than they have had in years, but they have to be taken over? Has anyone noticed the racism? TikTok user and guest of the show, our dear sister, Richey reminded social media users that this is no coincidence to bring the military into a city with a large black population. Quote, for anybody to believe that Donald Trump coming in with the military is a solution, and for anybody to think, even after all that we've seen from this administration, that is only going to impact so-called bad ones is irrational. And that's correct. I ask this question damn near every day now. Does it still feel like a democracy to you? Does it still feel like a democracy to you? Federal government takeover of a city? I thought Republicans believed in smaller government, less governmental intrusion, allowing the local people to do it the local way. I thought you cared about the decrease in crime, what works work. I thought you gave a damn about the authority of the voter to elect their representatives themselves. Nobody elected the federal government to be in charge in D.C. Nobody elected Donald Trump to be their de facto mayor. He's doing this as a practice run for expansion. That is my opinion. Now, we can stop this. You can stop this. Republicans who continue to go along with it, stop. He's not only destroying the fabric of the nation, he's destroying your party, but he's also destroying your soul. For those of you who believe you have one. If you go along with this madness, the judgment of history would not be kind to you. All right, dear brother, thoughts?
I think it's interesting that the gentleman in that video even knew what the smell of marijuana was. Maybe somebody should check his vehicle. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I also think it is scientifically proven that if you have a beer out on your porch, it just makes it taste better. At least that's been my experience. I've even heard that having a cigarette with a beer makes it taste better. I don't know. These are just rumors. Yeah, I mean, I think this is all just, like you said, it's in an effort to expand. I think he's already mentioned that he wants to potentially expand into cities like Los Angeles, where I live, and as well as Chicago, and ones that are ran by Black female mayors. And so it's absolutely horrific to see. And I think that there are a lot of people, especially in red states, who their entire impression of big cities is completely fed to them by the right-wing media and the algorithms that they are in. And they know in the White House and with the Trump administration that if they paint these cities in a particular way, the only information that their constituents are ever going to get is going to be the information they give them. And this is a great way to continuously divide us and to make it seem like there's absolute mayhem going on. What comes to mind is that Onion article where it says conservative man proudly frightened of everything. And I think that that's what they're playing into, and I think they're doing a great job of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, well said. All right, we'll bring you updates, guaranteed to be some.